Delta 8114, requesting takeoff.
Delta 8114, you're clear for takeoff. Good day.
American Airlines 8147 boarding economy.
Don't get ripped off. Our deal of a lifetime is here. Use code AMERICAN for 15% off your next ticket until April the 18th.
Etihad 9472 requesting landing.
Etihad 9472, you're clear for landing.
Singapore Airlines 827 to boarding soon.
Etihad 9472 requesting taxi to gate 14.
Etihad 9472, you're clear for taxi to gate 14.
Air Canada for 396 requesting altitude gain.
Air Canada 4396, you're clear for altitude gain.
Emirates 6943 requesting altitude gain to 32,000 feet.
Emirates 6943, clear for altitude gain to 32,000 feet. 6943, left my airspace. Please transport to LAX ATC.
British Airways 1439 radio check.
Singapore 8272, let's start off by completing your checklist. Let's start off with a clear radio check.
Singapore 827 to radio check.
Singapore 8272, I can hear you loud and clear. Check that off your list. I can hear you loud and clear, 1439.
This is Cebu Pacific 8376. I am from LAX ATC, Airbus A380. Is this clear?
8376, I have you on my radar. You are clear.
I will be the Robloxia air traffic controller momentarily.
American Airlines 8239, starting initial descent.
8 to 7 to have you completed your checklist.
Yes, ma'am. Yeti 4030 requesting landing.
Yeti 4030 clear for landing.
Japan Airways requesting Pushback 409. You are declared for Pushback Japan Airways.
Takeoff clearance 8090.
You're clear for takeoff, 8090.
Japan Airways requesting taxi.
Japan Airways clear for taxi to runway.
Yeti completed ending checklist.
Singapore Airlines 827 to boarding first class.
American 6020 requesting landing.
American 6020 clear for landing. Dropped my mic, guys. Dropped my mic.
Delta 3050 requesting go around and landing when clear.
Delta 3050, you're clear for a go around. I'll tell you when you're clear.
Southwest Airlines 8090 requesting altitude gain 33,000.
Southwest 8090, you're clear for altitude altitude gain to 33,000.
Singapore 827 to boarding business class.
Southwest 8247 requesting pushback.
Southwest 8247, you are clear for pushback. Tell me when you are at the runway. Actually, I will probably see you, but just tell me.
Alaska Airlines 8888 requesting landing.
Alaska Airlines 8888, clear for landing.
Alaska Airlines 8888 requesting taxi to the gate.
Alaska 88888, you're clear for taxi to the gate.
Southwest 8247 requesting takeoff.
Southwest 8247, you are clear for takeoff. Good day.
New Zealand A376 requesting altitude lower 31,000.
New Zealand 8376, clear for altitude lower 31,000.
Singapore 827 to boarding economy class.
Cebu Pacific 69 for a 3 finish checklist. AT Hade to requesting cruise 34,000. Feed.
ETA 2222 accepted for cruise at 32,000 feet. Wait, 35,000 feet, right?
You have left my airspace. Please transport to LAX ATC.
Southwest for 3 requesting takeoff.
Southwest, you are clear for takeoff.
Delta 1111 requesting altitude gain 32,000.
Delta 1111 clear for altitude gain 32,000.
Yeti 77H cruising. Qatar Airways 8889 requesting pushback.
Pushback clear 8889.
Japan Airways cruising.
American Eagle 2, 3, 4, 5 requesting pushback.
Pushback clear to 345.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain from the flight deck. Welcome aboard the flight. We're expecting a smooth ride today, so the seatbelt sign should remain off for most of the flight. Thanks for flying with us, and once again, welcome aboard.
Yeti 3 to starting initial descent.
2, 3, 4, 5. Again, just making sure. Is my radio too loud or too low?
ETA Airlines 13 requesting pushback to runway 1.
AT had 3090 clear for pushback.
American Airways 779 cruising.
ETA 13 requesting takeoff runway 1.
AT had 3090 clear for takeoff.
Yeti requesting landing.
Yeti clear for landing.
Japan Airways requesting altitude gain 30 for 1000.
Altitude gain clear Japan Airways.
Yeti requesting taxi to gate 2.
Taxi to gate to clear Yeti.
Japan Airways reached altitude.
DHL Cargo 9 for 76 requesting altitude lower 31,000.
9 for 76 DHL clear for altitude lower 30. 1000. AT had 3090, you have left my airspace. Please transport to LX ATC.
Now we request your full attention to the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features on board this aircraft. With the seatbelts unilluminated, you must fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal fittings one into the other, and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight as you may experience turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor level lighting will guide you towards the exit. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide which may also be detached to use as a life raft. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of a decompression event, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, place it firmly over your nose and mouth, and secure the elastic band behind your head and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to your mask. If you are travelling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a uniformed crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. Lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. A life vest is located in the pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head, pass the straps around your waist and adjust the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpieces. Use the whistle and light to attract attention if required. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion tightly towards your chest. At this time, your portable electronic devices must be set in the airplane mode until an announcement is made upon arrival. You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read this before takeoff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish you an enjoyable flight.
Singapore 8-7 to requesting pushback for runway number 1 information Bravo.
Singapore 8-7 to clear for pushback runway. Number 1 information Bravo, get those big boy engines on, haha.
Okay ma'am, haha.
Singapore 88 requesting altitude gain 33,000.
Clear for altitude gain 888.
Singapore 8-7 to requesting taxi to runway 1 information Bravo.
Singapore 8-7 to clear.
American Airlines to cruising.
Initial descent Emirates 733.
This is an Emirates A380 aircraft. I am from ATC. The aircraft's call sign is 8239. Is this clear?
You are clear. Welcome to Roblox air traffic 8239. Geruda, Indonesia, inicial descent.
Emirates to 4-6 requesting landing Roblox air traffic controller.
To 4-6, you are clear for landing.
Delta 7869 initial descent.
Grid 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Ryanair 1050 for cruising.
Emirates to 46 requesting taxi to gate.
To 4-6, clear for taxi to gate.
Singapore 8-7 to requesting takeoff clearance Robloxia air traffic controller.
Singapore 8-7 to clear for takeoff runway 1. Good day.
Flight attendants, please be seated for takeoff.
Singapore 8 to 70, you have left my airspace. Please transport to Los Angeles air traffic. Good day to 72.
This is your captain from the flight deck. We have reached our cruising altitude. The flight attendant should start their in-flight service shortly. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Los Angeles Air Traffic Controller. This is Singapore 8 to 72, A380 aircraft. I am from Roblox Air Traffic Control, and am I clear?
Singapore 8 to 72, you are clear. Welcome to Los Angeles air traffic.
Emirates 8475 requesting clearance for landing Los Angeles air traffic controller.
Emirates 8475, there is Hade aircraft landing here. Can I get you to get a go out?
Oh, wait, sorry, yes ma'am, 8745, performing a go-around.
AT at 9023 requesting taxi to gate 17. 9023 clear. 8275, you are clear to land.
Thank you, ma'am.
American Airlines 7623 requesting altitude gain 31,000 feet.
7623 clear for altitude gain 31,000 feet.
Spirit Airlines requesting pushback.
Spirit Airlines clear for pushback. Cebu Pacific 9002 requesting pushback. Cebu Pacific 902 clear for pushback. Emirates 7778, you have left my airspace. Please transport to China TC. Good day 7778.
Qatar 875 to requesting altitude gain 35,000.
875 to clear for altitude gain 35,000. American 9997 requesting clearance to decrease altitude to 32,000. American Airlines 9997 clear for altitude lower 32,000.
Frontier Airlines 763 for requesting altitude gain 34,000.
Clear.
Spirit Airlines requesting takeoff.
Takeoff clear Spirit Airlines. This is United Airlines 7643. I am from Roblox here. Air traffic controller Airbus 330. Is this clear? 7643, you are clear. Welcome to Los Angeles air traffic.
Alaska Airlines requesting pushback.
Pushback clear Alaska Airlines.
JetBlue to 562. Starting initial descent. Frontier Airlines 9875 requesting landing Los Angeles ATC.
Landing clear 9875.
Copa Airlines starting initial descent. Air Tokyo 8888 starting initial descent.
Alaska Airlines requesting takeoff.
Takeoff clear Alaska Airlines.
United to 3 for 5 starting initial descent.
Singapore 8 to 7 to you have left my airspace. Please transport to South Korea air traffic. Good day 8 to 7 too.
This is your captain from the flight deck. We have started our initial descent and will be landing soon. Thanks for flying with us, and we hope to see you again soon.
Air China 8726 starting initial descent, South Korea. International Airport. Air Japan requesting landing runway 1.
Air Japan clear for landing runway 1. Air Japan 3723, can you start your radio check?
Radio check.
I can hear you loud and clear. Check the top of your list.
South Korea air traffic, this is Singapore 8-72. I am from Los Angeles air traffic. Airbus 380, is this clear?
8272, you are clear. Welcome to South Korea. Air Tokyo requesting takeoff clearance. Clear for takeoff. (8272) you have left my airspace. Please transport to Tokyo International Air Traffic. Good day.
Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Tokyo International Airport, this is Singapore 8-72. I am from South Korea ATC, is this clear?
Singapore 8272, you are clear. Welcome to Tokyo International Air Traffic.
Japan Airways starting initial descent.
Ana Airlines 8279 starting initial descent.
Japan Airways 17 de 17 performing naval ground.
Singapore Airlines 8-7 to requesting landing Tokyo International Information Bravo.
Clear for landing Singapore 8272.
Japan Airlines 7623 starting initial descent.
One 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Singapore 8-7 to requesting taxi to the gate. Taxi to gate is clear 8272.
ANA Airlines 3497 requesting altitude gain 33,000.
Clear 3497.
Air Korea and you have left my airspace. Please transport to South Korea at ready. Korean Air starting initial descent. Korean Air 2697, you have left my airspace. Please transport to South Korea at ready.
Japan Airways completing Guaro 1 and starting a clear approach.
Japan Airways 2657 requesting a go-around to begin a clear approach for the runway.
You are clear 2657.
Korean Air 6923, starting initial descent. Japan Airways 2478, requesting landing. 2478 clear.
Korean Air 9067, requesting pushback.
9067 clear for pushback.
Korean Air 7625, starting initial descent.
Singapore 8 to 7 to unboarding.
Korean Air 2222, starting initial descent.
Requesting taxi to gate 2, clear. Tokyo International, this is Korean Air 6112. I am from South Korea Air Traffic Pilot Dan with co-pilot Alex. The aircraft is a Boeing 777. Is this clear? You are clear, sir.
Korean Air 6999 requesting landing.
6999, you are clear to land.
Tokyo International, this is Japan Airways. 6542, I am from South Korea Air Traffic. The aircraft is Airbus 330 pilot age with co-pilot Fort. Is this clear?
$6999 requesting taxi to gate 3.
You are clear, 6999.
Tokyo International Air Traffic, this is Korean Air 7285, I am from South Korea Air Traffic, Boeing 747, is this clear? Information Bravo. You are clear.
Air Korean onboarding.
Korean S789 to starting initial descent.
Korean Air 9007, requesting altitude low 52,000 feet.
Korean Air 9007 clear.
Korean Air 287, 9 steady altitude.
Korean Air 1002 cruising.
Korean Air 4598, requesting altitude gain 35,000 feet. Information Bravo.
You are clear.
Korean Air 689 to cruising.
Korean Air 6729 requesting landing. Japan Airways starting initial descent.